Hello everyone, so today we're going to talk about RAID. RAID is used for data loss prevention. So if one hard drive fails, another takes over. We have different kind of configurations for RAID. We have RAID, we have RAID 0, we have a RAID 1, we have a RAID 5, and we have a RAID 10. And today I'll be going over all of these. So the first one that we have is actually RAID 0. And RAID 0, with RAID 0 you have two hard drives. And you'll have data coming into both hard drives. So it'll write on this hard drive, then this one, and this one. Data is not duplicated on RAID 0. So if one goes out, that means that you lose half of your data or whatever data was on this hard drive. So this is something that you wouldn't want to have for fault tolerance. This is more for speed. So if you were trying to access data, this would be actually faster than having one hard drive. All right, let's go to RAID 1. Let me just erase this real quick. So the next one that we have is RAID 1. And RAID 1 isn't fault tolerant. What it actually does is, let me show you. So say you have a PC, right? You're sitting here at your computer and you have a RAID 1. You have two hard drives. That's a hard drive. So when data comes in, it writes to one drive, then that would be copied over to the second drive. So whatever you have on this hard drive, it'll be exact on this one. So if this one fails, that one would go out. So now let's talk about RAID 1. RAID 1 is actually fault tolerant. So let's say you have a PC, you're sitting here at this computer, and you have a RAID 1 setup. You have a hard drive here, and another hard drive here. So what it does actually is, it actually copies whatever is written on this hard drive. It'll copy the exact data on this one. So if this one fails, you'll actually have a backup and you'll have all your data still. Basically, in essence, it means it does duplication. So next, let's talk about RAID 5. Real quick, let me erase all this. Let me change the color of the pen. So RAID 5. RAID 5 is the most common RAID setup. So let me draw a PC real quick. So you're sitting here. With RAID 5, you actually need minimum of 3 disks. So one disk, one hard drive, another hard drive. And what happens here is the data would be written it wouldn't be duplicated, but it'll be written to all the other hard drives. So it'll write here, then it'll write here, then it'll write here. And each of these hard drives will actually have what they call a parity. And a parity is actually something that helps rebuild the data. So if a hard drive fails, say this one fails, these will actually have info of this hard drive, and it actually would rebuild the data, so it does have fault tolerance. So in review, all data is striped between all hard drives evenly. It's fast and it stores a lot of data, but the only downside about this is that, say that this hard drive is 1 terabyte, this hard drive is 1 terabyte, and this hard drive is 1 terabyte. You would think that equal 3 terabytes, but that's not the case because it'll actually be 2 terabytes because one of these hard drives was stored to parity. So as far as storage, you'll only have 2 terabytes to work with. So on the next one, we'll actually do RAID 10. So with RAID 10, we have actually, it's a combination of RAID 1 and RAID 0 put together. So RAID 1 and RAID 0 is combined. So all the data will be striped between all these hard drives. So data will be written evenly throughout all of them. And it'll also be mirrored. So whatever's here will be mirrored here. So with this setup, you actually can lose up to 2 hard drives, which means you actually only have 50% capacity. So if this hard drive was 1 terabyte, this hard drive was 1 terabyte, this one was 1, this one was 1, it will not be 4 terabytes. It'll actually storage will only be 2 terabytes. So RAID 10 is good for performance and speed. So in review, we have RAID 0, which is just striping, RAID 1, which is basically mirroring, RAID 5 is striping with parity, and RAID 10 is combining RAID 0 and RAID 1 for mirroring and striping. There are other configurations for RAID, but I won't be going over those in this video.